Hello everybody. I figured a few of you might enjoy this. And if anybody else has ever wanted to see a 396 that hasn't been apart, with the exception of an intake gasket and timing chain, since at least 1979. As far as we know, in at least 40 years, well, we know for certain that in the last 40 years, it's not had rings put in it, it's not had bearings put in it. I'm taking the heads off. We're going to see how bad the cylinders are. So, I hope you enjoy this. Well, that's scary, ain't it? A few years ago, I scraped out all the sludge I could. Took all the bolts out of the intake. Broke it loose. So, took the intake off. I'll look here in a minute. I would be amazed if it didn't have 16 flat lifters. You got to keep in mind, this engine hasn't been apart very far. I had it this far apart in the truck once, but it hasn't been apart further than this since at least 1979, 80, because my uncle bought this engine out of a junkyard and he never done anything to it except keep putting oil in it because it smoked and leaked oil 40 years ago. So she's had a rough life. I'm going to go ahead and pull one of the heads off and then I'll be back. Trying to show you it's the cam. It's wore, but you know, it didn't have a lifter tick. I wanted to show you something before I took this head off. You see how every one of these head bolts is shiny around them? You can tell they've been there. All of these. You get to this one, there's not a head bolt there, and there hasn't been. That's funny. That's strange. Oh, but another thing, it's been around like that forever. As long as I've had it, it's never offered to act funny. I don't really know how to explain that. Yeah, there's a ring ridge here. And it won't stop your fingernail, but it'll catch it pretty good. Cylinders have scores on them a little bit, but I'm not understanding. Okay, so that one's marked with a 7, this one's got an 8, this one's got an 8, this one's got an 8. So the pistons are marked on this side, which should be the passenger side. And I've not seen that. Maybe that was, I can't tell if those were factory pistons or not. But so I'm going to go ahead and take this head off, which is the driver's side head off. Oh, and wanted to show you, I went ahead and took the head gasket off, but okay, look here how shiny the block is through here. I know you can't see very good, and I'm sorry about that. See how shiny the head is. I mean, the block deck is where the head gasket's been down on it, and this one's the same. Well, this one is till about right here. At one time, that was leaking. You can tell that at one time it's not been touching it as hard as the rest of it, and it was leaking. Now that's been that way since at least 1980, when my uncle bought this engine out of a junkyard to put in his four-wheel drive. This is out of a 72 El Camino. He bought this engine to put in his four-wheel drive Chevrolet because he needed more torque to pull all that tobacco that he was raising. And he did some, he messed around with cows and stuff some back then too, but he needed his torque, he needed his horsepower. At 402, she'd pull it. And back then, it would pull it. Some of you might find this strange. I get an emotional attachment to certain things, and I guess it's where I miss him. 10 years ago, he had a heart attack, but before that he had had mesothelioma for years, which is from asbestos exposure. He worked at an ice cream and milk plant in town, and they had a lot of asbestos on pipes and stuff. And he had cancer for 8 years. We got this truck off of him back when he was pretty sick and stuff. He didn't have a lot of money. He needed the money more than he needed the truck, because he'd retired from farming. We bought the truck off of him, and this engine's been in and out of it a few times. It's always used oil. It always used oil. It used oil when he had it in his truck, when he put it in his truck. It used oil enough that I don't think he really ever missed the fuel changes, because if you had to put a quart of oil in something every day, it's getting an oil change. But other than a few years ago when I put a timing chain in it, because this engine used to have a lot more sludge in it, and it made the bypass for the oil pump stick open. I took it apart and cleaned it and shop vacked it out and everything, and I put a timing chain in it because it was loose. It's not had anything else done to it in at least 40 years. Well, I'm not content with just leaving it out of a car or out of a truck. So I'm going to do the most redneck rebuild anybody's seen. I guarantee it. I've looked up rings. I've looked up head gaskets. I have a good set of intake gaskets. I'm going to put rings in this engine, head gaskets in it, silicone everything else. I'm not going to clean it up really good. I might go through it a little bit, but I'm not even going to take the cam out and replace it. Because I can't. The lifters are stuck in it. But you can pull the lifters up far enough that you can feel the bottom of them, and they feel good. And the lobes look good. So I'm going to leave that alone. I'm going to put a different set of heads on it because the valve guides on this engine are shot. And that's all I'm going to do. Now, concerning what I'm going to do with it after I do that. I'm either going to put it back together for my 67, which with me changing the heads and stuff, it'll be closer to what an L34 was, so it'll be a 350 horse 396 instead of a 72. You know, really, these are open chamber heads. Now I can tell the difference. Closed chamber heads, they look like a bathtub. These are more open through here. Open closed chamber, this is from about here to here. At the plug, it's flat. More like a bathtub. The set of heads I have are closed chamber, but I believe these pistons will fit in there, and that will raise the compression some. Not a lot, but some. So, new cast rings, different set of heads, head gaskets, and that's it. And I got to figure out how to get that out, but I don't think anybody ever tried. I think it broke when they were putting it in. So I'm going to take a good pair of vice grips and maybe heat that if it won't turn. If it turns, I ain't doing nothing to it. But if it won't turn, I'll heat the block a little bit and turn it out. That explains why I'm doing what I'm doing. That kind of rebuild would have been what my uncle would have had done. He'd have had it re-ringed, and that's it. And honestly, it would have been lucky if it got a different set of heads, because it probably would have just been put back together with the shitty heads that I'm taking off of it. So, it'll run. You know, I never took one of these apart back when they were new, you know, just recent blown up or just worn out back in the 70s. But I think that's the GM rod bearing. Cylinders look great. I'm amazed. Oh, and those are, I could be wrong, but I think they're Molly rings. Crank looks great. That looks like a factory Molly ring. You know, those are, you can tell on the top ring most of the time because they're 3 different layers. You can almost, like, you got a dark one in the center and the 2 shiny ones on the end. Those are Molly rings. I'm curious on how much taper these actually have. That engine's in great shape. It's amazing. Well, let's see if we can find anything else that would make me think it's been apart. Now, at one time, I was in it before. You can see it's got silicone on the oil pan. And I was thinking I seen a couple rods that had the same numbers on them, but that could have just happened, you know. I don't think it's been apart very many times, if it's ever been apart. If it's been apart, it's been a very long time. Here's the scary part, though. Check in play. That ain't bad at all. Shit. That's in great shape. Great for worn out. It's relevant, you know. So I'm going to re-ring it. I'm going to put new rings, head gaskets, and that's it. I'm going to put it back together. I should really probably buy Molly rings, but I'm just going to put it together with some cheap cast strings. I've seen some cast strings on Rock Auto for $29. So I want to buy some cheap cast strings and a set of head gaskets. I'm not sure what year that engine is. See, this is where it comes in to where I know just enough to look like a dumbass, but I've always heard that the early engines had 5/16 push rods. They were bad for braking, and then they switched to 3/8 push rods. Well, this engine has 5/16 push rods. F2171, made in June 71, 72 Chevelle engine. Things get confusing. I don't understand why it has 5/16 push rods when I've always heard that the later motors had 3/8 push rods. Either way, it's a 72 Chevelle or El Camino 402, which means this is a standard 402. Or if I hunt rings for a 396, because for some reason I can find them cheaper for a 396, it's a 30 over 396. So I've got to measure these rings, but they should be the right ones, and I can get some 30 over 396 cast strings for 29 bucks. So that's what I'm going to try to do. I'm not going to replace the bearings. I'm just going to put new head gaskets on it, rings, put it back together, and that's it. I plan on taking it the rest of the way apart, and then I'll make a video cleaning it some, and another video tossing it back together. So I'll make this a three-part video, three-part series, and I hope you enjoyed it. This is what the inside of a 396 that hasn't been apart in at least 40 years looks like. One more thing I wanted to add is, for at least 40 years, dust and all, that engine never saw an air cleaner. And given the fact that it's got stock pistons, still had the Molly rings, stock GM bearings, I don't think the bottom end had ever been rebuilt. I do think that at some point in time somebody had the heads off, but that's been a long time. It's been long enough ago that the only head gaskets you could get were steel head gaskets. So it's been a long time. Like I said, I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think. I'm still going to do what I want to do, but you can let me know what's wrong with that. God bless, and I'll see you next time.